Is gaming the triple narrative bad boy you want for your portfolio? The answer to that question is maybe. I say maybe because, as excited as I am about this project, I did discover something that will, I'm sure, put some of you off. And my duty is to let you know about it, of course. So I am going to be doing that. And I'm also going to be explaining there why I'm still going to buy it and when. And some of you will be going, yeah, fuck that. And some of you are like, no, I get your logic. And that's the point. I want to be fair to the project as well as being fair to you guys. So you probably know a lot about it already. So I'm not going to dwell. It's not one of those videos where I'm yawn fest going through a white paper. But that said, some of you might be like, what's this about? So I need to do a bit of halfway house. So I'm going to indulge some of you just to give you a flavour about this project and why it's exciting. But do stick around because then we're going to get into the real nitty gritty, what I have found and my assessment of it. And then hopefully you can make an informed decision if this triple narrative crypto is for you. So what is GAIMIN? It's a gaming platform that doubles as a state-of-the-art crowdsourced GPU sharing system. We currently hold the world's largest source of decentralized GPUs powering AI tech, fueled by 300,000 gamers and counting. Let that sink in, all right? The problem, or problems. There is no chain infrastructure is good enough for the real gaming. No way to monetize existing computing power when computers are idle, and there's new computing hardware is in shortage. And I did read in the white paper, guys. I think that's why there's such a massive opportunity to capitalize on the GPUs of gaming computers. Gaming Movement Labs and BNB Chain collaborate to create the fastest gaming blockchain in the world. Pretty impressive. A move language based L2 on BSC with 150k TPS, the lowest latency, native gaming and deep in features, and watched by millions of gamers. Huge. And here, look at this. By owning a top 5 globally ranked esports organisation, this broadens our capacity to further educate and onboard the millions of Web2 gamers worldwide into our Web 2.5 gaming platform. Got about the 300k there, but look at this, and over 50k monthly who monetize their GPUs with them. Wow, and it's a global deep in leader. Also, we are activating our esports organisation, so they've actually got an esports organisation over the next 12 months to onboard millions, not hundreds of thousands, millions more gamers to share their GPUs with gaming. So I'm hoping you're really understanding and grasping how colossal this kind of thing is. And I was looking at a team. I mean, they've got an unbelievable amount of experience, and you can take your time and look through this. I'm not going to bore people to death by going through this stuff. I also have discovered that they're pretty well funded. I mean, I've seen things with a lot more funding, like Shrapnel, for example, but 1.1 million is not to be sniffed at, is it? Now, I did want to share this with you, though, because this is relevant when we get to what I'm going to be sharing with you, what I didn't like for your consideration. So, obviously, we've got nearly 55% in ecosystem development in terms of tokenomics, like it. Obviously, commit to the project. We've got the private sale, public sale, pretty normal, airdrop normal, liquidity. But the bit I want to point out is this bit. So advisors is 6%, seems reasonable, and the team is 15%. And that to me also seems pretty reasonable. Again, just because Shrapnel's on my mind, I think theirs was something like 23, 25%, just off the top of my head. I might not be quite accurate on that. It's a little while since I looked at it, but yeah, I just want you to recall that for when we get into what I'm going to be sharing with you. Now check this out compared to its competitors, or alternatives if you like. I mean, we all know, I'm sure we all know how good Render is and Akash. May not have heard some of these, and I can barely make out what all this writing is. My eyesight's not probably good enough, but nonetheless, look at it. It just wipes the floor with them. And yeah, okay, you can argue some of these aren't built to do all this, and that's fair enough. But clearly, they're not down as computing for no reason, are they? They're heavily involved in it, and we all know how popular rendering something is. But I thought this was a good visualization to appreciate the mammoth potential of this thing. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a flavour. By all means, as always, do your own research and go through all this stuff, but that should give you an idea of what we're talking about, and I think I've done a positive view of this, to be fair to the project. All right, now what I want to do is the nitty gritty, the stuff I found that I didn't like. All right, so actually it's worth noting, check this out before I won't keep you waiting much longer, I promise, but just look at this as well from a community point of view. 357,000 followers. That's gone up a fair few thousand since I looked at it earlier. What we've got on Telegram, we've got 24,000 there. Discord, there's 8,500 online and 44,000 members. So I think that kind of makes it fair to give you an assessment of how big this thing is. Right, now the bit that I want to share with you. So I was doing my research, and the first thing when I'm always looking at something like this is I want to know if it's a honeypot. Okay, so write that in there. Bosh, good news. Alright, does not seem like one, but that's only the first bit. What we then do is we put it in here, which I've already done actually, and you can see it's got a low score of 44 out of 100, 2 high risk items and 1 medium. And if you're not used to this kind of stuff, you could be forgiven for shitting yourself and going, do you know what, I'm not interested in that. However, we have to exercise a bit of common sense. So let's look what they are. So missing liquidity, dump risk, and liquidity drain. So 2 out of 3, yeah, are red, but they're to do with liquidity. It's just condense these so you can see them. But this thing's only just launched, so this doesn't bother me and this doesn't bother me, but of course no one wants to get dumped on, do they? So what do we do in this situation? We go back to CoinGecko and we go here and we see if it's valid. Is there a risk? So let's look at the holding percentage, should I say. A whopping 81% is held in one account, right? So therefore, when it's telling us there's a high dump risk, it ain't wrong, is it? That is probably the second highest that I have seen, but it has only just launched. And this is the thing, guys. Usually, if something like that, I probably wouldn't invest. I'd be like, not for me. However, now we need to look at the things that I have actually shown you. There's only 15% allocated to the team, which is always a good sign. There's the decent backed. In fact, they've partnered with, I forgot to show this, they've partnered with quite a few companies, but CoinMarketCap and BNB, of course. Okay. And don't you think they're going to do their own due diligence if they're going to be partnered with them? Common sense would suggest so. So that's another reason for it not to be a dump risk. Plus the team, yeah, go and look at it in depth. They've worked together for a really long time, and they look very experienced and professional. And I like the setup, the transparency. They've got a mini white paper, if you like, as well as a more in-depth one. So my gut instinct is saying, okay, if we're looking at fact on fact, I do not like 81% being sat in one address. But from a common sense perspective and gut feeling based on the other information that I've presented, even though technically it is a dump risk, for me, I don't think it's highly likely. Now, do I know? No. And this is why I said, for some of you, you'll be like, Paul, thanks but no thanks, I'll leave that, cheers. But for others of you, especially if you're at, whilst we're in this bit of a no man's land with BTC, you know, are we down, what we're doing, and you're probably reshuffling your portfolio a little bit, and you're thinking, I've not got enough deep in AI, gaming, or some of them, or you just want to top those up. This doesn't seem like a bad play to get into, does it? Now, that said, I'm not saying I'm over the moon about finding it's got 81% in one account. I'm not. And this is the difference between going really quite heavy into something and not. And for me, if it was more spread out, I would probably put more into this. So yes, it has impacted my decision, but it's not actually put me off from investing in it. All right, you take this on board, you make your own call. Now, this is where we're at the moment. Launched, and it's kind of finding its range. So what am I doing? I'm clearly monitoring it, as you can see, and I will watch this tomorrow. I'm just going to let it settle. But important, guys, if you're going to get onto this, and hopefully I've managed to get this video out today on the 26th, we'll see. But if it's tomorrow, apologies, but obviously that'll affect what you're seeing right now, so just bear this in mind. But as of today on the 26th, on launch day, I'm actually going to see how this goes, and then I will be not sleeping on it though, because I did that a little bit with Entangle. I wanted to let it settle, but I wasn't concentrating, and yeah, there's a nice juicy point on that 0135, and then, well, we know what happened. The rest is history with that. It went up, and from there on in. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I'm kind of looking at, but there should be, I don't know, I can just see this getting a lot higher. I mean, can't you? For me, there are not many coins that are triple narrative. There's the other good ones that stand out are things like Flux, already gone at the moment. AIOZ, gutted about that. A mate told me about that ages ago. But yeah, you know, I think everyone should have one of these type coins in their portfolio. But you can see my first little investment, look there, 500 ready to go. Anyway, I don't want to be waffling. Look, if you enjoyed this, guys, why not give it a like, subscribe. Thank you to all the recent subscribers. Must be doing something right, even though I'm a teeny poxy little channel. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. All right, cheers, bye.